bad behavior is not like specifically indicative of crime-ridden areas. It just seems to be the overall trend, right? Gentle parenting has basically caused a whole lot of absolute craziness going on everywhere, right? But apparently Judge Judy has something to say about this, guys, and I cannot wait for that. Judge Judy being my favorite TV show judge, guys. And this is a suggestion via Discord, guys. Let's go and jump into it, guys.
I love America Reports. America's crime crisis is worrying, but don't take my word for it. I'm not a judge. Judge Judy is. TV's Judge Judy SHREDS says she's very aware of the chaos unfolding on streets across America and also knows exactly how we got there. Watch this.
Let's go.
Oh, I know how we got here. We got here because a small group of people who had very loud voices created a scenario where bad people got rewarded and the victim got punished by the system. You know, there is always a reason for criminal behavior. You're mentally ill, that's a reason. You took drugs, that's a reason. You took alcohol, your brain is fried. Whatever it is, there's a reason. There is never, excuse me, I get excited. There is never an excuse for bad behavior.
Right.
And when society started to make excuses for bad behavior and react to criminality based upon the excuses, it fell apart.
Guys, this is not really something that's like new, right? There are a lot of people who like write manifestos after doing something absolutely heinous, because they know society is going to, for the most part, reward them by putting their names all over the TV and all over newspapers. It's not even a thing anymore, but you get what I'm saying here. Like, that's enough reward for some people to want to do some of the craziest things that have ever happened.
So obviously, Emily, as a judge, as a jurist, she has a different perspective. Why are lawyers and judges so able to see what has gone wrong and DAs and politicians are not?
Well, respectfully, I think her view was actually sort of irrespective of her role as a member of the jurisprudence machine here, irrespective of her role as a judge. Man, that was just common sense. Yeah. That was pure common sense. And I think what we have seen is the result of a vocal minority and people in decision-making capacities who have made horrible decisions on behalf of the so-called victims that they created, to her point about excusing bad behavior. Oh, this actually violent theft? No, it's just because they're poor. You know, people who subscribe or ascribe certain labels excusing felonious, violent, unacceptable societal behavior, and then installed people who abdicated their duty. So instead of a district attorney actually prosecuting, instead you have an activist in that role who utterly fails at their job. And because of it, there has been an epidemic of people who have lost their lives in this country and who have lost their livelihoods. And both of those are inexcusable.
They are.
All right, I definitely want to point out one thing that she just said here. Poverty is something that is involved with criminality. But here's the thing, not all people that are impoverished are criminals, absolutely, but there are, but that is something that needs to be looked at specifically when we're looking at things like this. But here's the thing here, under no circumstance should you ever say that, oh, because you are lacking financially, that it is ever going to be absolutely acceptable. I understand you did what you had to do, but it is still absolutely wrong, right? Absolutely wrong. Do not praise these individuals, guys. Right? And I think that's what happens a lot of the times, right? Like they glorify the criminal nature of, let's say, Queens Village, right? Like back when the Italian mob ran through there, guys, right? These are criminals. In fact, why are they being glorified in movies and TV shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Or even let's say the biker situations, guys. Why are these being glorified? That's our society. I mean, we generally glorify bad behavior, and we have been for the absolute longest, guys, right? But either way, let's go and check it out.
Are inexcusable, and you can feel the difference. You can feel the shift. It used to be the golden axioms of liberty: don't hurt people, don't take their stuff. Why does that no longer apply?
I don't know, but I just, Judge Judy and Judge Janine are saying the same thing, so something must be really true here. Again, I think you've changed, she's right, you've changed the narrative that something's wrong with the defendant, something's wrong with the perpetrator, and so let's try to fix them as opposed to going, you did something wrong, we're going to hold you to account. I was an elected DA for 8 years.
That's valid.
You have a very close relationship with your community, with your public, because it's your job to keep them safe. And something weird has happened within the voting population of these cities that are electing woke prosecutors who aren't enforcing the law, and the results are catastrophic. I hope that there's a realignment, a rethinking of the voting base to go, we want actually people that will enforce our laws, put bad people behind bars, and keep us safe. Hopefully that change is coming.
I mean, is there a way of doing it before we reach the point of no return? That's what worries me. Is that these cities get so bad, you won't be able to bring them back. They talk about that in San Francisco, but we have to be optimistic. We have to be forward-looking. So what can we do? What can be done?
Well, look, the headwind of illegal immigration at our border is going to be tough because you've got so many more illegal drugs on the streets today. And it's not just fentanyl. I mean, fentanyl moving around allows other things to move, too. They're using it as an additive, so on and so forth. So you have more deaths from drug overdoses and the such. So that's a headwind against the system of going, and I'm always an optimist about this, but I'm also a realist. You've got to deal with your immigration issues now because these cities are being infiltrated, if you will, by people who will continue to exploit your soft on crime policies. It's their way of living. You know, you hear about the Venezuelan prison gang who came here when the prisoners emptied out and came here. We didn't.
Tren de Aragua.
Prison gang who came here when the prisoners emptied out and came here. We didn't stop them. They're gotaways. They're in our cities now. That puts pressure on the system. So Kennedy, like you, I want to have hope that our cities can turn around, but hope isn't strategy. We got to strategize our way out of this.
Yeah, it's certainly not enough. Maybe Judge Judy should be the one running for president.
Yeah,
that hat.
Listen, yeah, she looked good in that hat. She was like in vacay mode, but like.
Wait a second, guys. What if Judge Judy? Listen, I love Judge Judy. Right? I love everything she's about. She is strong, right? I would definitely vote for Judge Judy. I like Judge Judy. Right? I have no idea her politics, guys, right? But for the most part, as of right now, I think that she'd be a really good candidate. Maybe it's time for a judge to be president, right? Like someone who just will not allow the nonsense to continue. The concept of a dollar bail is absolutely nuts, bro. Right? That's craziness. That should not be a thing. Specifically because someone is going to pay that dollar, go back out, do the same thing again. Because whatever the crime they committed most likely paid them more than the dollar, right? So they're up, in a sense, in profit, guys. Right? But all right.
Speaking a lot of truth. And what she's absolutely right. And it's refreshing to hear somebody like her say it and say it with such force and such conviction. And what she's talking about is that this is an ideology where progressive Democrats like Cori Bush believe that criminals are victims of a racist America, which is not true, but there's all of these policies as a result of that thinking.
Criminals are victims of a racist America. Well, firstly, I don't think all criminals would be victims of racism, unless she's specifically talking about a ilk, right? That's a weird statement.
Of a racist America, which is not true, but there's all of these policies as a result of that thinking.
It's like saying all cars have 4 doors.
Broken windows policing is now a dirty word, but it worked. And now that it's gone, there are smash and grab robberies and everything in every single Duane Reade in cities across the country, and CVS is now locked up as a result. People are losing their jobs because these stores are closing as well.
Smashing and grabbing those broken windows.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Guys, the last thing that I want is for all stores to like no longer exist to the point where you can walk into them. But I do know, at least, in order for stores to maintain profitability, the smartest thing to do would be to basically have a waiting room, right, in every single store where you can buy everything from like a kiosk or whatever it is, and there's someone in the back just bringing it to the front. That's kind of how things need to probably end up turning out to, specifically in like New York, Chicago, right? Specifically, these places, right? They definitely need kind of like a buffer zone from the products and the people, or these places are going to start turning into deserts. And a lot of companies and corporations are already leaving a lot of these places because of the fact of soft on crime policies that are not really beneficial at all to keeping a business in the area paying taxes, right? Like, you can't be upset at the companies leaving if you're not doing anything to stop or protect the company's assets, right? So I know how it's going to have to be. And it's going to have to be like a kiosk situation going forward. A waiting room and a kiosk. It can be really big, right? You can have 10, 20 monitors. Everyone goes up to the monitor. You wait about 5 minutes and they bring your stuff to you. Right? That will be the only way, I think, a lot of these, like specifically Dwayne Reed and CVS, even Best Buy, guys. I went to Best Buy the other day. I was absolutely disturbed. Bro, there's nothing there to play with, right? I'm not going in there to take anything. I'm going in there to put my hands on the object, or let's say the camera, right? Because I want to know what it feels like in my hands. But that doesn't exist anymore. You have to buy it before you can even touch it, right? And so that's an absolute crazy thing. And the thing about that is, when I'm in the United States of America, I'm in an area where there are not many people that I would stereotypically think would be talking about racism specifically, right? And it's locked up. And I think, bro, it may be like 1% non-white, maybe. And it's all locked up. So I don't know. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. I think people are just struggling right now with inflation, and it's like the youngsters are walking in there and taking things, guys. All right, but all right, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.